to live here. 35% of respondents say that they feel that they will be forced to move in the next 5 years for better economic opportunity. Rick Scott, the senator from Florida, has actually penned a piece published in the Wall Street Journal this morning. Our hearts go out to you for your sagging luxury real estate market, but you did this to yourself. His piece, Why New Yorkers Flee for Florida, he says America's a marketplace where states are competing with each other and New York is losing, he writes. Their loss is Florida's gain, and Texas and South Carolina and Ohio and Indiana, Maria.
Yeah. By the way, it has been their gains, those states, because people are leaving the state. Governor Cuomo just the other day said that he's facing a $2 billion hole in his budget. Well, maybe it's time to look at taxes and try to assess whether or not they are fair and whether or not they are strangling people and pushing people out of the state. Money is mobile. It will always go where it's treated best. That's what's happening in New York.
It's got the attention of the country. And now you look at a city like Chicago, too, which in some cases had their property taxes tripled and people looking to live somewhere else. Maria, you've got a big interview coming up. I know you're going to be sitting down with the president.
Yes, I'm looking forward to talking with the president about all of these issues that you raised today, Sandra, as well as the economy today. The Federal Reserve yesterday saying no more interest rate hikes because everything's slowing down. How slow can things get? And are we looking at a situation where very weak growth in Europe, slowing in China is going to hit the United States? And how does President Trump plan to keep this growth story going? That interview will air tomorrow on Fox Business, my one-on-one exclusive with President Trump. Sandra, thanks for mentioning it. I really appreciate it.
We look forward to that. Maria Bartiromo, thank you.
Thanks.
The investigation into Boeing's 737 MAX jets is growing and now appears to include a criminal probe after 2 deadly crashes. Why a top Pentagon official is also under scrutiny, that's coming up.
Plus, Kentucky Governor Matt Bevin coming under some criticism for a bold new move in the anti-vaccine debate, exposing his 9 children purposely to chickenpox. We'll have a doctor here to explain.
And freshman House Democrat Max Rose apologizing to his Jewish constituents for several controversial comments from his fellow Congresswoman Ilhan Omar.
Those comments caused hurt. And they were anti-Semitic. And I'm a member of Congress. I said that
rifles. The time for the mass and easy availability of these weapons must end.
New Zealand is banning assault rifles. Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern announcing the ban on sales of military-style semi-automatic rifles following the massacre of 50 people at 2 mosques in Christchurch last Friday. The ban also covering high-capacity magazines, and the government will buy back weapons from people who surrender them. It's expected to be in place by April 11th. A nationwide reflection for the victims is tomorrow.
Now, this Fox News alert, the FBI is joining a widening criminal probe into how Boeing's 737 MAX 8 jets were certified as safe in the months before 2 deadly crashes right after takeoff. Those accidents killing more than 300 people. Doug McElway has the latest developments from Washington. The FBI, Doug, is involved?
Yeah, obviously they have investigative tools that neither the Department of Transportation Inspector General nor a grand jury subpoena has. Congressional committees have often proven to be an ineffective means of getting results. In fact, the first Boeing hearing on the Hill is set for next Wednesday. Senator Ted Cruz, chairman of the Subcommittee on Aviation and Space, will convene a hearing on federal oversight of commercial aviation as it relates to these 2 recent accidents. But all of these investigations combined with their criminal implications are highly unusual. Traditional thinking has been that civil procedures are more effective because if criminality is at stake, there is a risk that targets may go underground, destroy evidence, not productive when the ultimate goal is air safety. Meanwhile, Boeing has said that it will make an optional extra cost safety feature on its 737 standard now. This is the 2 angle of attack sensors just outside the pilot and co-pilot's windows. Some carriers, United for one, for example, wires their pitch control automation to both sensors, but some low-cost carriers wire up just one, so there's no way to tell if there's a discrepancy between the 2 readings. That will become standard now, John.
Meantime, Acting Secretary of Defense Shanahan has ties to Boeing and defense contractors. He's in some hot water over that?
Yeah, the Defense Department's Inspector General said on Wednesday that it has opened an investigation into whether Acting Secretary Patrick Shanahan used his position to improperly promote his former employer, Boeing. The complaint is based on comments that Shanahan made praising Boeing over competitor Lockheed Martin, which is the maker of the F-35 fighter, the biggest contract in Defense Department history. He said that Lockheed Martin doesn't know how to run a program, and he pushed the Pentagon to buy more Boeing F-15X models, the most recent model, which the Pentagon says it does not want. Shanahan told Congress he welcomes an investigation. Recertification, by the way, of the MAX 8 could take longer than anticipated because more countries are opting not to rely on FAA certification as they used to do. John?
Doug McElway in Washington. Thank you.
Catastrophic flooding in the Midwest, destroying hundreds of homes and farms as one river gets closer to cresting today. We are live on the ground in moments. Plus, do you remember this?
It was a bonehead idea, put in question for an entire decade the independence of the most significant body, including the Congress, in my view, the Supreme Court of the United States of America.
That's then Senator Joe Biden criticizing the idea of packing the Supreme Court as the proposal to do just that gains more and more steam among the current 2020 presidential candidates. So what happens if Joe Biden decides to get into the race?
Plus, Andrew Gillum lost his bid for Florida governor, but now he's launching an effort to register 1 million new voters in hopes of winning the state back from President Trump in 2020. Up next, the Trump campaign's press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany, will be here to respond.
Look at the Democrats right now. Just think about what they're talking about. No one believes in these.
And I say, really? But African-American unemployment, the best it's ever been. Hispanic, Asian, women, everybody. It's all the best it's ever been. How do you top that in a debate? If you do a good job, it's a lot easier that second time. But nobody's done the job that we've done.
President Trump in Ohio laying out his 2020 strategy with a focus on the economy. His pitch coming as Democratic candidates make some dramatic policy proposals, including targeting the voting age and the Supreme Court, as well as the Electoral College. Kayleigh McEnany, National Press Secretary for the Trump 2020 campaign. Good morning to you, Kayleigh. So
Good morning.
What is the strategy this morning? We heard a lot about the economy last night.
Absolutely. You just